Sup, massive bitches. I'm going to talk to you about the most important button in Massive. Oh yeah, I'm Multiplier. I forgot to introduce myself. But yeah, the most important button, and that is restart via gate. Now, it's also the least interesting and the most boringest button in the whole of the universe, but it's important you know about it. So, what is it and what does it do? So, if you've noticed in pretty much all my Massive videos, I start them off by saying, if you don't know what this button does, click it. Or if you don't know what this button means, click it. And that's basically because if you don't click it, i.e. leave it as it is by default, if you press like a note over and over again on the keyboard, it might sound a bit different every time you press it. Won't necessarily sound different, but it might do. And that's going to be really annoying. I get so many messages from people saying, I keep pressing the same note on my Massive preset and it sounds different every time. And it's almost always this setting right here, restart via gate. It's a little bitch. So just click it and go from there. And what it basically does is, in very, very, very simplified terms, so synthesis nerds, don't be bitching at me, it kind of restarts each oscillator from the beginning of its waveform every time you press a note. Otherwise, what happens is you're kind of holding the note down, the oscillator's doing its thing, you let go, and then it's in the middle of what it's doing, and then when you press the note again, it carries on from where it's left off. So what that means is that kind of the first bit of each sound, as you kind of press the note over and over again, is kind of different, because as you hold the note down, obviously it evolves, even if over a really short time period. So if that didn't make any sense, who cares? It doesn't really matter. The important thing to know is, if in doubt, click it. And yeah, if you want your note to sound exactly the same every time you press a button, click it. It's also worth noting, you can kind of get some interesting effects by kind of moving. See, we've got these sliders down here, like oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and you can move these bad boys around. You can move them about, and that kind of puts the oscillators kind of out of phase with each other a little bit. We're digressing a bit, but that's a nice thing to kind of fuck about with. It can give your sound a little bit of different, a different character, the same kind of vibe, but a different character. I thought I'd quickly mention it since it's near the button, after all. But yeah, that's restart via gate. I'm not going to explain in detail what it does because it's not really relevant. But yeah, if you've been finding every time you press a note on the keyboard, shit sounds different, press the button, problem solved. And that is a really short and simple explanation. Which is cool stuff. And there you go, short and sweet, very, very short and sweet, but it's important knowledge, it's in your brain, and now you are enriched as a result. There you go. And if you really, really, really want to know kind of in depth what it actually means in terms of kind of how Massive works, which I definitely would recommend if you've got a bit of time, do have a look in the Massive manual. It explains what's going on. I mean, if you click routing over here, you can see exactly what's going on with the oscillators and the filters. And if you just want to see exactly what's going on in terms of kind of subtractive wavetable synthesis, which is worth knowing, you can really start to understand exactly what that button means in terms of how Massive is actually doing its thing. But you don't really need to know all that stuff. All you need to know is if your note sounds weird or annoyingly different every time you press it, click it. But it's sometimes nice to unclick it because it means each note kind of sounds a little bit different, which can sometimes be nice. Sweet. I've been Multiplier. It's been a video. Boom.